Thought I'd do a fireside chat about my visit to Cedar Point yesterday. All I've got to say is it's just disappointing. I'm not mad, I'm disappointed. And we'll get right into it. So, during my day, I went to Steel Vengeance, waited 90 minutes to ride that thing. And so, picture this right now. Goliath, other RMCs, the back of the seat has this removable part. And when it's like cushion or something, it's right here and behind you and at your butt. But so they comes from RMC with this really cheap Velcro. I remember when we were testing Goliath, and you can actually see it in some of the test videos, pieces of the Velcro of the seats were flying off because the Velcro sucked. So we put better Velcro on it, and that fixed it for the most part. We'd still have ones flying off. But anyway, back to Steel Vengeance. So their solution to this problem was they put these plastic plugs into the seats, so like they drilled into the fiberglass, and then you put the seat cushion on, and then you put the plug on there, and that holds it down better, I guess. So the problem with that is my friend sits down in one of the seats, and that plug isn't pushed in, it's extended out, and so he rubs his arm against it, and it breaks skin, bleeds, and so we're riding this ride, we ride the ride, get back. He's unable to enjoy his ride because now he's just been injured. Being a little dramatic there, but anyway, so we go and report this to the ride operators. Hey, this seat just cut me. Here it is, right here. And so he says, okay, wait right here. And so we wait up, we go out the exit and wait, and he goes to the operator booth and he grabs this sheet. I guess they have to fill it out whenever someone gets injured. And this is obviously the first time he's ever filled out one of these sheets because he's like reading it for 30 seconds before he even speaks to us. And this incident occurred around 9 p.m. and he wrote 7:10 p.m. So something's up. But anyway, so we tell him, hey, this is what happened. And blah, blah, blah. He says, okay, wait here. And he goes and he calls someone and he comes back. And he's like, okay, so there's no supervisor up here right now. We don't really know what to do. First aid is over there. And I said, well, don't you think that since your ride that was not properly maintained injured my friend, and our day was delayed by having to sit here and report it and speak with you, that we deserve some compensation? And he said no. And I think part of it is there's a culture of being withholding with ride operators. And so I said, great. Well, I'd like to speak to a supervisor or whatever. Well, I kept arguing with him, blah, blah, blah. He's like, do you want to speak to a supervisor? And I said, yeah. And so he gets on the phone, spends like 5 minutes on the phone, comes back, and he says, the supervisor says that he's busy. And anyone who's worked in customer service, that's unacceptable. And that's just something I have to actually give credit to Great America for. If a ride operator called saying someone wants to speak to a supervisor, even if their supervisor's busy, even if their super supervisor's busy, someone high up is going to make their way out there and come and listen to your concern. But I was told, no, we're busy. Or the supervisor's too busy to hear your complaint right now. And so I said, okay, well, since now I've waited here for this 15 minutes, don't you think that, and my friend was injured by this ride and not really able to fully enjoy it because he was just thinking about trying not to bleed on the seats, which, by the way, if someone told me they bled on a seat at Goliath, we definitely close the ride down, cycle it empty, and then we clean it with this special spray and take the biohazard paper towels to a specific location and dispose of it. They didn't care at all that there was blood on the seat, which was very interesting. But anyway, so he tells me this, and I'm kind of just like, whatever. He was like, you can wait around if you want. So I waited around like another 10 minutes with my friend, and they just kept saying, oh, he's busy, blah, blah, blah. And so then another ride operator, a female this time, comes up to me, and she says, you know, no one's making you stay up here. You're kind of wasting your time right now. And I just thought, you know, I would never say that to a customer who was upset, and it was your fault that my friend got injured. It was your fault. And now you're acting like I'm being whatever. And so I got the sheet that he wrote down the stuff on. You might be wondering, how did you get it? Well, that's how little they were paying attention to me. That fell out. But you know what? I think it's time to burn another shirt, and this time you might not be able to see it, but it's top floor dragster, and right down there at the bottom it says Cedar Point, and I'd like to ignite that first. I remember when I used to visit Cedar Point, it was the upper echelon of service, performance, everything. Their operations were incredible. When Gatekeeper opened, I went there and I was stunned with the hourly throughput that they were able to achieve. But then I ride Steel Vengeance. It's got 3 trains on it, and they triple stack every single time. I ride Millennium Force, and they're triple stacking every time. Everyone's waiting out in the brake run. I know that that's not the proper interval. I've seen it run faster. And I feel like I just need to take a break from theme parks until they get the loose articles thing figured out. Because it's like now at Cedar Point, I'm seeing all the operators, after they finish checking restraints, now they have to walk up and down the train and look at everyone's hands and make sure that no one has anything. And that's just, to me, I get it, I just don't like it. And I feel like I just need to wait until these theme parks figure out loose articles and how to properly deal with them. Yeah. Oh, and so I did some investigating, rode Valraven, which only had 2 trains, and it was interesting because there was no 3rd train in sight. The shortest track was empty. So I don't know if that was the train that bumped. I'm assuming it was the train in the station, because I feel like if there was damage to the floor platen, which to me, I couldn't really tell anything. They looked the same to me. Like, they looked dirty enough that they were there for a while. I did see some definite weld marks along the outside. There's like a metal strip. So it must have been the train that was in the station, but it's completely gone. So there must have been some actual substantial damage. But, you know, I visit Cedar Point, and I go there to be awed by everything. And my philosophy always is, with ride operators, okay, you're either going to make them be friendly or efficient. And it's got to be one or the other. You know, Disney, they've got it mastered with both. But Six Flags was always, when I was employed there, it was always more of the friendly aspect than the fast aspect. And I've always been a proponent of fast and just be as rude as you can. Because if my guests are getting on these rides faster than they can think, they won't care if someone's rude to them. They'll just be thinking about the amazing ride that they were just on. And that's kind of how I used to think of Cedar Point. But now I feel like they're neither friendly or efficient. And it's just getting sad. I mean, what's next? All these theme parks are just not the way they should be. I'm tired of waiting in lines. And I hate going to theme parks because I know for a fact that stinks a little. I know for a fact the proper intervals that these rides should be hitting, and I just see no sense of urgency. Power tripping ride operators that get off on being withholding. I mean, I literally said, you know, I would be fine if you would just throw us on the ride real quick. Let us go around again if your supervisor's that busy. And he still said, no, we can't do that. And I was like, is it illegal? I mean, I see that these people that have these disability passes that have been coming up are getting on the ride no problem. They get off on being withholding, and it's just a toxic environment there at Cedar Point, because I feel like all these acers and ride operators from around the country that, you know, think they're they go there and then they are just power tripping because they know that they can stop the ride anytime they see someone with a cell phone. They can yell at people with loose articles, and they can tell people that get injured on their rides to go themselves. Just very disappointing. And I'm not going back. I'm done with Cedar Point. I'm just not impressed. Steel Vengeance is cool, but it was dead there, and I still had to wait 90 minutes because RMCs just have terrible capacity. They need to redesign. They need to figure out how to get the seatbelt and lap bar system different, where the operators can check it while the lap bar is down. Because all these parks having to do this thing where they have to leave the lap bars up, check the seatbelts, push them down. It's just too much. They need to figure out something better. That's what I think. But who knows if there will be another Fireside Coaster chat. Thanks for listening to my concerns. See you guys in the next one.